In today's video, I'm going to talk about something that I've already posted on this channel. It's going to talk about how can you be able to manage day-old chicks without any cases of mortality. I've posted this video, but most of my farmers usually ask me how can they be able to manage day-old chicks without having any cases of mortality. And so if you are in need on how you will be able to know how you will be able to manage day-old chicks without having any cases of mortality, make sure you stick around so as you can be able to get some tips and tricks so as you can be able to avoid mortalities. We want you to be able, when you are selling to you the day-old chicks, you are able to rear the day-old chicks without any cases of mortality until they reach this stage. Okay? So you have to follow everything that we'll be telling you in this video. So I want just to go straight up to the brooder so as I can be able to explain to you what I'm talking about. What you have to do when the chicks arrive, what you have to do for the following 7 days. So as you can really understand what you will be doing. You want to make money, make sure you stay tuned so as you can be able to understand everything. So let's go up to the brooder. This on the bottom floor, if you are my vivid subscriber, you know that on the bottom floor, what we usually do is that we usually rear our parent stock. But on the top floor, I've never taken you up on the top floor. So today's video, I'll be taking you up to the top floor so as you can be able to understand what we usually do on the top floor. So here we are heading on the top floor. So here we are on the top floor. What you can see is that we have some chicks here. I want to put on some light. So I don't know if you will be able to see. These chicks are 1 week of age, and you can see how big they are in size. We are able to brood our chicks at a very faster rate, and our chicks usually grow at a very faster rate because of the food that we usually give them. You can see how big these chicks are, and they are only 1 week of age. These ones are around 3,000 in number, and we are selling them. So if you are in Kenya, make sure you give us a call. So for the first thing, after your chicks have arrived, I want to get to a place whereby we have some light. So after your chicks have arrived, what you have to do, you have to make sure that after your chicks have arrived, you have to mix glucose with liquid paraffin and a multivitamin. This multivitamin, make sure it has the following component. 1, make sure it has a component known as choline. 2, make sure it has vitamin A and vitamin K. 3, make sure it has some oxytetracycline in it. I know most people here won't accept most farmers to use that kind of multivitamin. They usually call it chick formula in most cases, but make sure it has that in it because it will be able to prevent any cases of some bacterial disease from attacking your chicken. Because you know, when the chicks travel from the hatchery up to your place, they usually poop in the box, and after they have pooped in the box, they usually eat their own poop. So when the chicks eat their own poop, that can lead to some diseases that can develop in the gut of the chicken. So if you really want to prevent such cases from occurring on your poultry farm, you have to make sure that you are giving your chick the multivitamin that has oxytetracycline in it. Okay, so those are the first things that you have to do. If you're able to do that, then you'll be able to prevent any cases of your chicken getting some bacterial disease during the early stages in life. The second thing that you have to do, you have to make sure that you have placed water in your brooder. After you have placed water in your brooder, you have to place each and every chick in your brooder by taking the water and dipping the beak of the chick in the water. After you have done that, you'll have made the chick have an introduction to the water. They will know what water is. So when you do that, you will be able to teach your chick that is water, and they need to drink the water for 2 to 3 hours before you give food to your chicks. If you are able to do that, remember, you are the mother for the chicks. If you are able to do that, then you'll have a growth in uniformity in growth. As you can see, these birds here, they have a uniform growth. You can see, uniform. All these birds are of the same size. You can't see a smaller chick and another one is so big. There is uniformity in growth, and we really want to have a uniform growth. You don't want to have chicks whereby you find out that one chick is so big and another one is very, very small. You don't want that to happen, because if you have such cases, you end up finding out that the bigger chicks tend to bully the smaller chicks, and the smaller chicks will be left behind. Then we'll have a lot of inconsistency in growth. If you have a lot of inconsistency in growth, then you won't be able to sell your chicks on time, because when someone comes to buy or purchase the chicks on your poultry farm, they may end up finding out that the smaller chicks, they won't be able to take it. So they will say that is very small, I'm not taking that smaller chick. So you have to be really keen when you are feeding your chicken. Make sure they have drunk water for 2 to 3 hours before you introduce food. So after you have done that, the next step that what you have to do is that you have to make sure that you use some trays. These ones are 1 week old. We have changed from the trays. We are feeding on the feeders. But I want to show you a tray. I'll be able to show you the tray. Let me take you to the tray. In this channel, I usually tell you guys, everything I tell you, I illustrate. So you have to make sure that you are putting your food on a certain tray like this one. Why are we using a tray like this one? When you put food on a tray like this one, a chick doesn't know the difference between food and the wood shavings. And there is something that I've forgotten to tell you. So if it doesn't know the difference between the food and the wood shavings, so it will need you to place first. After you have placed the wood shavings over here, you have to place newspapers on top of these. If you're able to place newspapers on top of this, then you will be able to prevent the chicks from eating the wood shavings. If you don't do that, then you find out that the chicks have eaten the wood shavings. You will find out that your chicks will develop, those wood shavings will get stuck in the crop of the chicken, and the chick will die. So that's why after you have placed the wood shavings, you have to place some newspapers on top. After you have placed the newspapers on top, the next thing is that you put feeders, those that I've shown you, the trays, and you place feed on it. If you do that, then you will be able to prevent any cases of some diseases from attacking your chicken, and also removing the cases whereby you have early mortalities of your chicks, because you'll be able to control that, and that is what we want you to do. That is the third thing that you have to do. You have to make sure that you are giving your chicken food, and not just food. I think there's something over there, some rooster. So when you have placed the chicks in the brooder and the chicks have eaten, you're not just giving them food. Make sure that you are giving them a balanced diet. Okay? Because if you decide to give your chicks feed that is cheap, I know I posted a video on this, but if you are new to this channel, you will understand. You won't be able to understand much, because you have to make sure that you're giving your chicks a balanced feed. Because as we say on this channel, if you decide to give your chicks food because of the price, and you have bought maybe for the chick mash is so cheap, so you may be thinking that you're saving money, but the chick mash doesn't have all the components that are needed by the body of the chicken. You find out that your chicks aren't growing. So make sure that you are buying high quality feed. If you are not able to buy high quality feed, make sure you formulate your own high quality feed. If you're able to do that, then you'll be able to prevent a lot cases of inferior chicks during your brooding stage, and a lot of mortalities. That is the biggest thing that you can do, so as you can be able to grow as a farmer. In this channel, as I told you guys, I want to help you guys be able to grow. Make sure that you are giving your chicks multivitamin for around at least 3 weeks of age. And for these farmers who usually ask me, should I switch to growers mash? Growers mash is given to chicks at week 8. Okay? When they are turning to 3 months old. After they have finished the 8 weeks, then you can switch to growers mash. Growers mash is only a name. You know, most people usually confuse when they hear about growers mash. They think that that will help the chicks grow faster. And there's a story that I said in one of my videos, whereby I say that there's a time whereby I decided to feed my chicks with growers mash, thinking that growers mash is so cheap and this will make the chicks grow at a very faster stage. Oh, little did I know, all of my chicks got caught with coccidiosis, and I really lost a lot of chicks. So guys, don't do the shortcuts, okay? Just follow the right things, and then you'll be able to make money in this venture. If you do everything that I've told you, then after 5 days you can remove the wood you can remove the newspapers. Then you can start introducing the feeders to the chicks. The chicks would have known the difference between the wood shavings and the feed. Then from that stage, the chicks will start growing. And remember, this thing is very crucial. If you are not providing enough temperature in your brooder, you either use the brooding pot. Most people usually ask me how a brooding pot looks like. Make sure you are using a brooding pot. For example, on our poultry farm, you are using a brooder pot, because we found out that the brooder pot is more efficient compared to the brooder bulb. We found out that the brooder bulb never provided enough heat. It only needed, for example, you really need a lot of brooder bulb so as you can be able to provide enough heat, and that will lead to high cost of electricity bill. And we don't want that. We are in business. We are not showing off. We have to make sure that we are doing things in a calculated move. We have to make sure that we are doing the proper arithmetics of the costs and the profit that we'll get out of the venture. So make sure you also do that. If you are able to use an alternative, use an alternative. You can use a gas brooder, use an alternative. Make sure you are saving. How do people become rich? You become rich by saving small amounts of money, whereby instead of you using that money as a cost, it will be converted as a profit. If you do it 100 times, where will you be? You'll become a millionaire. So make sure you follow everything that I've told you. Then you'll be able to manage a lot of chicks. And make sure you are giving enough feeders and enough drinkers to your chicks, because as I told you, for every gram that a chick eats, it needs 2 grams of water. Don't forget that. If you're able to do that, you'll have a uniform growth, and your chicks will be of a bigger size. Don't be left behind. Be smart, be wise. Align yourself with the best.